Okay, guys, we're going to be watching Hoop Reports. Here's what losing in the second round means for these NBA teams, so let's see what's up.
Was the second round of the NBA playoffs off the hook or what? Jalen Brunson is now a household name in New York. The Suns received another devastating beatdown at home. Steph Curry did everything he could, but ultimately fell short against the referees. And Joel Embiid? Well, the MVP will have to go into a
Is bro kissing him?
long offseason and ask himself the question, what more can I do?
And smiling.
Losing stinks, and to become champions, tough decisions need to be made. Here's what losing in the second round means for these NBA teams. Let's start off with the New York Knicks. The way they lost in the second round taught us a lot about what they need to do in the offseason, but before that, I think it's safe to say that they outplayed everybody's expectations. I mean, from the start of December, they were 10-13. Nobody expected much from them. But then from there, they battled and battled and battled all the way to the 5th seed in the East. Then, after making it into the playoffs, they made even more headlines by eliminating Donovan Mitchell and the Cavaliers in the first round before ultimately falling to the Miami Heat in 6. The question they got to ask themselves now is, what do we do from here? And
Loki trade Brunson. He's like, okay. So Emmanuel Quickly isn't that good. You can probably trade him. Emmanuel Quickly, Julie, and not Julie. No, Brunson. Oh no, my bad. I did not mean that. Julius Randle. That's who I said. I meant to trade. Trade Randle. Maybe Emmanuel Quickly as well. No, you a bench player, but yeah, and go and get you like someone like, I don't know, maybe like Harden. I I know Harden's been playing. He's been alright, but that's what. Okay, I'm gonna let the video go.
score from Game 6 can pretty much sum up what the Knicks need to do in the offseason. It's clear that Jalen Brunson played like an all-star, while their actual all-star put on a disappearing trick and vanished right before our very eyes.
Trade him. Just kidding.
Many New York fans are disappointed in Julius Randle, and for good reasons. This is the second year where the power forward had an amazing regular season, but looked completely unrecognizable in the playoffs. I mean, it's not just the fact that his shots aren't falling, but it's his defeated body language, which has a contagious effect that affects everyone else on the roster. For the New York Knicks to reach the next level, they need to trade Julius Randle.
Yeah.
The key target at the moment, from what I hear,
Cat.
is Karl Anthony Towns. Derrick Rose and Evan Fournier are also two players who need to go. Collectively, they get paid over $30 million, and what did they do in the playoffs?
Yeah, Derrick Rose ain't doing this shit.
Absolutely nothing. Next off, they need to immediately re-sign Josh Hart. Then, if they could just retool a bit around Brunson and add two more talented players who also have that dog inside them when the going gets tough, they'll definitely...
Okay, RJ Barrett is good. He'd be putting up 20 points a game, so you know, but he does not have that dog in him, or I haven't seen it.
be an interesting team. But the only problem for me is, the more interesting they...
I was 25 years old when I started my anti-aging skincare journey, and the main ingredient
Bro, you're 25. You don't need anti-aging, bro.
I was looking to incorporate was
they become, the more annoying Stephen A. Smith becomes as well. Next off, we have the Phoenix Suns. And
The Phoenix
I
Buns.
first just have to say, wow, guys. Kevin Durant really fell off a mountain after leaving Golden State. I mean, he could have entered the NBA's all-time great list if he just stayed and played with Steph Curry. But instead, he's now on a paddle boat in Cancun with another long off-season in front of him. Anyway, the humiliating way the Suns lost in the second means only one thing at the moment.
Yeah, but also if we did have KD, we would have beat the Lakers, no doubt.
Changes are coming. As we all heard by now, head coach Monty Williams got fired, and for good reasons. He fell short in the 2021 NBA Finals. He got humiliated last year by Luka, then this year he got embarrassed again, but by the Joker this time. Still though, despite how the Suns season ended, the good news is they still got Booker and Durant, and because of that, in 2024, they'll still be in the championship conversation. On a side note, I find it absolutely ridiculous that neither of these two players were selected to any of the All-NBA teams.
First NBA team, Giannis, Luka. I think Luka's second, but yeah. Then Joel Embiid, Shea, Jason. Joel, Shea. He had a great season, but I'd put Curry over Shea. Jaylen Brown, Jimmy Butler, Steph, Nikola, Donovan Mitchell. He did nothing in the playoffs, but you know. Third, yep, Darren Fox, LeBron, Damian Lillard, Julius Randle. Did nothing in the playoffs. And Dom Sabonis. Alright. Yeah.
I mean, when Julius Randle gets selected over someone like Kevin Durant, something is wrong. But anyway, aside from those two, everyone else should be on the chopping block, including CP3 and DeAndre Ayton. Sadly, the point guard is now at the point where he's just too old and injury prone. Then when it comes to DeAndre Ayton, it's clear that he and Booker don't exactly see eye to eye. Luckily for the Suns, however, the 2018 number 1 pick has a high stock in the trade market, and they should be able to get good pieces for him. Overall,
no, he sucks.
Suns are going to be an exciting team next year, and I look forward to what their new owner, Matt Ishbia, can do to prevent another Luka special from happening to them in the playoffs. Next off, we got the Philadelphia 76ers. Honestly, losing in the second round for them is really troubling and confusing, because the truth is, they have all the talent in the world, and they're just a hair short of becoming a championship-level team. I'm serious here, guys. I mean, they have an MVP in Joel Embiid, and they have a former MVP in James Harden. They also have a rising star in Tyrese Maxey, a borderline star in Tobias Harris, and a tough 3-and-D specialist in PJ Tucker. Their bench is pretty decent too. Then when it comes down to what they were able to achieve this season, just look. They were the 3rd seed in the East and were literally just a few minutes away from clinching the series and arguably punching a ticket to the finals. But instead, they let it slip away. Then in Game 7, Tatum caught on fire and put on a show for the ages. At the moment, Philly's biggest problem is probably their coach. Don't hate me.
Hey, that's exactly what I said. Coaching mistake. That's why they got blown out.
Guys, but Doc Rivers is completely overrated. I mean, in addition to blowing multiple 3-1 leads, this will be his 3rd consecutive second-round exit against teams that the 76ers were capable of beating. Ty Lue, a master of X's and O's, is probably the coach they should go after in the offseason. And heck, JJ Redick.
Who was he? I think he was the Clippers coach, I'm pretty sure.
Would even probably be an upgrade. After their coaching changes...
Wait.
Master of X's and O's is probably the coach they should go after in the offseason. And heck, JJ Redick would even probably be an upgrade. After their coaching changes, though, Philly should make minor tweaks to the roster, then hire Tony Robbins to give James Harden motivational talks every day in the playoffs, then run it back one more time. Oh, and one more thing about the 76ers. They really fumbled the ball when they kept Tobias Harris and traded away Jimmy Butler. That'll go down as one of the worst moves in franchise history. I mean, could you imagine what things would have looked like if they had Embiid, Harden, and Butler? Sheesh, guys. Anyway, last off here, and this one kills me, are the Golden State Warriors. I'll have a longer, in-depth video for this, but just to scratch the surface,
we'll be watching that.
Let's get into it.
When you wash your body, do you use a moldy loofah, a dirty washcloth, or you're that guy that just uses their hands while only scrubbing your pits and privates? I'm talking to you. Introducing the...
First off, I truly believe that if the refs called that Lakers series fairly, the Warriors would have won. But at the same time, even had they done so, the Nuggets look incredibly formidable with the way they beat Kevin Durant and the Phoenix
But we would do way better than what the Lakers are doing right now. They got blown out first game. I mean, they did have a comeback, but they,
Suns. So even if Steph Curry and the crew advanced to the Western Conference Finals, the odds would have been heavily against them. And with that being said, some personnel changes have to be made in the Bay Area. First and foremost, the Warriors need bigger bodies coming off the bench. In the past, they had Zaza, they had JaVale, they had Spites, and they had West. Big bodies that can come in and provide 15-ish minutes of great basketball would do absolute wonders for Golden State.
Yep.
I mean, not only could they provide some much-needed defense against other bigs, but they can come in and provide some much-needed easy buckets as well. That's what Wiseman was supposed to provide, but unfortunately, his timeline just didn't fit. But anyway, after that, the Warriors really need to rethink their strategy. What I mean by that is, why would they develop Kuminga all year only to not play him at all during the playoffs?
For real.
In the regular season, the dude averaged 10 points on shooting splits of 52.5% from the field and 37% from three. Why in the world did Kerr not play this dude in the postseason? His athleticism, his ability to defend, his ability to go downhill and attack.
He's scared. Scary.
Sheesh, guys. And then, why would they not play Moody all year in the regular season, only to play him significantly in the playoffs? I mean, he did do well during the playoffs, but he could have been a lot better had they developed him, instead of giving those minutes to Anthony Lamb, another player who didn't get minutes during the playoffs. As great as Kerr is as a coach, these are such puzzling moves that I just don't understand. Anyway, the Warriors...
I want to see Moses Moody and Kuminga playing way more. Trade Anthony Lamb. No, he's good, but he's not going to be a star in the future of the franchise.
also have a Poole problem. I'm not trying to hate on Jordan Poole right now. If you guys are fans of the channel, you know I've been a supporter of him for a long time. With that being said, if the guard out of Michigan could return back to his 2022 form, then great. There's no problem at all. But his drop in production in 2023 has been more than alarming. Then when you add in the factor of his attitude, especially towards their leader Draymond, that definitely raises a huge question mark. Do they keep the Poole party and give him another chance? Or do they look towards the market and try and find something more consistent
But for
and less
who?
erratic? That's a huge decision for the front office this offseason. I mean, with that payroll that they have, they can't afford to mess up. It's a championship or bust. And with that being said, the Warriors aren't too far off from being a championship team again. A slight retool is all they need to be at the top of the NBA again. And over the offseason, their front office definitely needs to put an end to any two-timeline notions. Because the truth is, there isn't two timelines. There's only one, and that's the Steph Curry timeline. Everything revolves around the two-time MVP. And after watching every single game this season, I came to realize one thing. The reason why teams can't imitate the Warriors system, the reason why Joe Lacob said the Warriors are light years ahead of the NBA, is all because of Steph Curry. Without him, the Warriors system
Watching all 82 games is crazy, but I'm going to do it next year, stress.
won't work. In fact, he is the system. And from the looks of it, he has probably another 2 to 3 years where he can still play at an MVP caliber level. So during this window, they need to do everything they can to make sure he has the help he needs around him to compete for another championship. One thing is for sure though, the front office is going to have to do some serious work this offseason, and you can be sure that when next year rolls around, no teams are going to want to see the Warriors.
I agree. Come on, let's work your magic. The people that do the trading and stuff. We're going to watch this next. Yeah, but if you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on noties, and I'll see you tomorrow for this video. Yes, I'm watching it today, but I'm uploading it tomorrow. Bye.